this was huge news when we saw Southgate announce that he's going to leave England. Wow, I was really surprised because I didn't think he'd leave. Um, Huge criticisms from Southgate, crawling our way to the Euros final just to lose, just just to lose in the final. Um, but even now, Southgate, he's a media darling, and that is the most important thing when you're England manager. Are you a media darling? Can you handle the media? And most of all, can you not get sacked by the media? Because the media will sack you before the FA sack you. And Southgate was able to last for 8 years and leave on his own terms. To be honest, I thought he would try and stay on until the next World Cup in 2026, and then say he's done a decade as England manager, and then leave after that. But I suppose leaving after finishing in a final is the second best way you can go out. You know, Only one team can win. So Southgate got as close as he could, finished second, but lost. We'll talk about Southgate another time tactically, what he done, what he can do, and where we think he'll go next. But Potter ready for next job. He could be favourite for the England job. I would love him as England manager, to be honest. I really would. I think tactically he's a huge step up from Southgate. I think similar to Southgate, he does like unearthing gems and like building with youth. I think at Chelsea he didn't really get given a choice. At Chelsea it was more, this is what we're doing, and you're currently manager, so you're going to go along with it. For me, when I see situations like what happened with him at Chelsea, if he gets given a 7-year contract and he gets sacked after 7 months, of course some blame needs to be put on Graham Potter, of course. But ultimately, the only person that looks bad out of that is the Chelsea owners. What on earth, as a businessman, as a football club, what on earth are you doing giving someone a 7-year contract and sacking them after 7 months? To me, that shows that the ownership, they're clowns. If I could say that, they're absolute clowns.
Rona.
Right.
Oh, here we go
the guy
again.
who's kind of been out of the headlines for a while. Yeah, the ownership, they're absolute clowns. So I kind of, put that out of my head when I'm considering Graham Potter. But he done a good job at Brighton, considering where Brighton was when he joined. I remember where Brighton was when he joined. Brighton were, where were they? They were relegation battle fodder at that point, managed by Chris Hughton. I remember they sacked Chris Hughton. I'm thinking, why on earth would you sack Chris Hughton? You're Brighton and you've just stayed up. What more else can you ask for if you're Brighton, But they brought in Graham Potter, and he really was able to kick on with Brighton, really established them as a Premier League team, and even to this day, they're still in the Premier League off of the spine and the foundations that he laid at Brighton. I think there are a number of people that want some different options. I think Eddie Howe, I don't see Eddie Howe leaving Newcastle for the England job, personally, not yet anyway. Pochettino would be a good option in terms of coaching and tactically. Like I said, he's a step up from Southgate without a doubt. But him being a foreign manager, I don't think is going to work. I think the media will have no patience with him at all. And if the media's got no patience with you, then you're cooked, bro. You are cooked. There's no chance of you being able to do what Southgate done, have a couple of tournaments, have some decent, to be honest, not really any decent performances. There weren't many decent performances out of Southgate as England manager, but decent results where you got through to latter stages of competitions. If you don't do that, if you're a foreign coach and you don't do it, you're done. Even if you do that, you're done. So I would be really surprised if the next English manager wasn't English. I think the FA will be looking at the past and seeing, okay, we had 2 back-to-back foreign managers and they've done absolutely nothing, and they wasted at that time, what we felt was a golden generation. Looking back, was it a golden generation? I don't know. On paper there were some great names, but in terms of it being an actual squad, it really was unbalanced. We didn't really have any wingers, to be honest. We had Beckham, who had great delivery, but anything other than that, really wasn't anything special. Wasn't particularly athletic. Wasn't great defensively. So apart from him just sending the ball into the box, which obviously is an important thing, he wasn't really offering much else. We really didn't have any other wingers. So how much of a golden generation was it? Who knows? But Graham Potter as the next England manager, personally I like it, and he's who I would pick, to be honest. I wanted him, well, I didn't want him, but I was surprised West Ham weren't interested in him also. Because for any Premier League team, you've got an English manager who knows the league, who's managed, Brighton, done a great job with them, established them as a Premier League team, lasted 7 months at Chelsea, but got sacked, and then they brought in Pochettino, and he didn't even improve them that much. So who's the real problem there? We start to point at the players, which is who you really should be pointing at in the first place. But yeah, Potter had that experience as well. Certainly would be interested to see what's next for the guys.